1536. The modern world 2. 1. Population. Population. Example.
Moreover, today, more than half of the world's population live in cities.
That's almost half of the internet population and a sixth of humanity.
2. Prediction. Prediction. Example.
Doctors will make the final diagnosis and check the accuracy of the algorithm's prediction.
So how did it feel to make this prediction and then have the world essentially not listen and not prepare?
3. Rate. Rate. Example.
So it can fluctuate depending on what my commission rate is at any particular time.
Thanks to DIRT, you now know how to calculate distance, rate, and time.
4. Statistics. Statistics. Example.
Well, just some statistics about sort of what we went through in the process. The machine itself has 89 distinct interactions.
And one of the ways in which we can begin that journey, for me, is looking at statistics.
5. Aging. Aging. Example.
But human control is limited. Susceptibility to despair, disease, aging, and death is universal.
Trying to understand aging in a human being, biologists have just failed to do that over many centuries of studying.
6. Current. Current. Example.
Throughout the middle of the story, the screenplay frequently cuts between each character's current obstacle.
Uranus is a place where life is unlikely but marginally possible, at least as far as current thinking.
7. Elderly. Elderly. Example.
Adaptive clothing is defined as clothing designed for people with disabilities, the elderly, and anyone who struggles with dressing themselves.
An elderly female chimpanzee had woken up with a facial droop, and the veterinarians were worried that she'd had a stroke.
8. Ethnic. Ethnic. Example.
Einstein believed deeply that science should transcend national and ethnic divisions.
In Kyrgyzstan, just over the last few weeks, unprecedented levels of violence occurred between ethnic Kyrgyz and ethnic Uzbeks.
9. Exotic. Exotic. Example.
The original intent was to travel there and bring back a classic story of diverse species of an exotic locale.
You probably think that the force that I led was all steely-eyed commandos with big knuckled fists carrying exotic weapons.
10. Global. Global. Example.
And there was only one name for it: global citizen. But this is not about any one organization. She's part of a growing movement, and there's a name for people like Davinia: global citizens.
11. Long-term. Long-term. Example.
The utility company was finally ready to talk concretely about long-term redevelopment.
Why don't we lower government spending and lower government taxes, and then we'll be on an even more favorable long-term deficit trajectory.
12. Trend. Trend. Example.
God bless them. Vanderbilt, in 1 week, found 40 such patients, same trend.
20 years from now, we'll have nanobots, because another exponential trend is the shrinking of technology.
13. Local. Local. Example.
Go local.
atheists have a much better chance of winning a seat on a school board or a city council.
The first is selecting a feedstock, preferably something that's regional, that's in your area, right? Local manufacturing.
14. Productive. Productive. Example.
I think that'd be terrible for the country. I don't think it'd be productive for Iraq.
Turns out the old geezers weren't just productive, they actually lifted the productivity of those around them.
15. Skeptical. Skeptical. Example.
Most economists and tax experts are skeptical, as are many of my FT colleagues.
Now, even at that organization, obviously most people were quite skeptical, but I mean, they were wasting money anyway, so let's see what happens.
16. Short term. Short term. Example.
Exploitation is not risky in the short term, but if we only exploit, it's very risky in the long term.
There are a few tricks that can give you an immediate confidence boost in the short term.
17. Subsequent. Subsequent. Example.
And its subsequent cons, I learned Heath Ledger's shambling walk as the Joker from The Dark Knight.
Subsequent to that, after it's been going for about a year now, they actually started to lease and create and extend.
18. Compound. Compound. Example.
We carefully, over that month, constructed an articulated suit of aluminum armor with compound curves.
The opposite happens when you eat something with menthol in it. The cool, minty compound is activating your cold receptors.
19. International. International. Example.
Globally, we have policies, international instruments, world leaders.
Family mental health will be shouting loud and clear in global international agenda.
20. Annual. Annual. Example.
The TOMS 7 satellite data shown here show the annual average ultraviolet radiation at the Earth's surface.
Everything from job training workshops to an annual circus to even a beautiful new shoreline trail.